Oh, hey everybody! It's me, Link. Yeah, I can talk. Nintendo just doesn't think that it would fit the game. They say I should just be silent. I don't get it, but they pay the bills. Anyway, let's watch T-Man review a better version of me. Won't that be great? See you later.
T-Man 978 Chill Review.
You know what, Link? I don't know why they won't let you talk either.
I know, right?
Anyway, hello everyone. T-Man 978 reviewing Figma Skyward Sword Link. Now I say Figma, but they have all types of names written on this thing, like Max Factory, Good Smile Company, Max Factory X Masaki Apsi Action Figure Series, but Figma's the biggest name on the box, so let's go with that. But anyway, here's the front of the box. Here's the side of the box. Here's the side of the box. Here's the rear of the box. Here's the top of the box. Here's the bottom of the box. And let's open this box. Inside the box, you get a set of instructions that are in Japanese and English. I would suggest you read these because you don't want to break this thing. This is not a toy. It's a adult collectible. I mean, if your child is maybe like 10 or 12 or something and responsible, it could be for them. But otherwise, this is definitely not a toy for little kids. Now, they didn't have this in the instructions, but it's a cutout right here. Down the bottom, I see it says stage. So I guess you can fold this up and make it a stage for Link to stand on. But yeah, I'm not going to do that. You get this optional Figma display stand. I don't like this tip. I mean, it can come off, but it does help for rotation, but I'll show you later. It's not very intuitive. He has 5 sets of hands. The closed fist that he's wearing on his body, these sword stabby hands, the shield holding hands, jazz hands, and hey, I just got an item hand or relaxed hands. But anyway, you get a nice Hawaiian shield. If it's not the Hawaiian shield, don't kill me. But that's what it looks like. Anyway, here's the strap that goes around his arms, and here's the handle. The handle can actually be shifted over here if you, depending on what hand you want him to be holding it with. Nicely detailed sword sheath. I mean, that's very great. It has these silver accents right there, a belt right there. And they also painted it on this side, which is nice. Here's what I believe I didn't play Skyward Sword to the completion, to the conclusion. But I believe this is the Master Sword because it looks exactly like it. And they did a good job on painting this. And it can fit right into the sheath nicely without falling out. You get this charged sword effect right here, which I'm going to show off later. You get this disembodied Link face, which I'm going to put on later. And this optional hair that's more wild and all over the place. Show that off later too. Lastly, before Link, we get another stand piece or stand tip in this Ziploc Figma bag. So you can put all the accessories that you're not using in this bag if you want to do something like throw the box away, which I don't think I'm going to do for a while. And here we have Link himself. And this is an awesome figure to me. I mean, the articulation is amazing. Like, this hip skirt just gets completely out of the way. And the way they molded it, it still looks like it's connected, even though he's kicking all the way out right there. He's covered in these, I guess they must be called Figma joints, just like the Revoltech joints. Like, they're amazing. They're pretty much universal joints that look like this. Like, I'm pretty sure all over his body, you could probably detach his whole body and give him new limbs from other Figma characters. But basically, they turn around, I mean, they bend in one spot, and since they're cylindrical, they can actually rotate. So that gives them that extra added articulation that a figure like this would need. Some people are bothered by seeing the joint, but it doesn't really bug me. It's an action figure, so I know it has to have a joint like that. The wrist doesn't have that joint. It's just a hole right there and just one swivel. But it still works fine right there. He definitely has it in his shoulders right here. But there's a little bit more rock in there, so I don't know if it's another ball actually inside the socket, because I can actually do things like this as well as raise the arm out like that and rotate. But he has about this much inward motion, and probably because I'm pulling the ball out of the socket, I don't know, but it hasn't fallen out on me thus far, so that's actually nice. The head is on the same joint as the elbow, so he can look down and look up quite a bit. I do get scared. I originally bought this yesterday. I don't know if that'll mean anything for you, since you can watch this anytime, but I bought this figure. It got to me in 2 days, right before I went to work. Took it to work so I could play with it. I bent this little ab joint. That's a ball at the top and a ball at the bottom. I felt like it could actually crunch in more. I was wrong, because it's one solid fragile piece, and snapped it in half. Luckily, Amazon Prime has an excellent return policy. I guess because this was a Prime item, I just said I needed a refund. A replacement. Putting the reason was optional, but basically they just sent it right straight out. Now, I don't know if the bottom of his neck is on the same type of joint as the elbow. It does rock forward and back a bit. I'm scared to force it, because I definitely don't want to break another toy on camera. Let's do a close-up on his face. This is an excellent likeness to the game. He looks a lot like Michael Jackson to me. I said that in another review, I think, but I think they modeled Link after Michael Jackson. They had to, because the eyebrows, the eyes, the slit for a mouth. But yeah, that looks a ton like Michael Jackson. Now, I know some Asian guys can look like this, the feminine looking ones, like Sakurai, the guy who is the producer for Smash Brothers. He looks a lot like this. Anyway, but that definitely still looks like Michael Jackson to me. They gave him his little blue earrings in both ears. Camera, come on. His hat can turn to blue whichever direction you want him to be going, or if he's falling, it can stick up. But only time you really have to do that is when you put his sword sheath on his back. I like the way this collar is molded. See his little button right there keeping his strap on. Right there. That's for his sword sheath. That's for his stand. Here's his pouches right here. They don't open or anything. Detail on the belt. His waist is actually turnable under here, which is nice. And I can see that that's on a joint, a separate joint too. The hips, now they have balls right there, but it looked like I could probably pull his leg off without breaking it. The knees have the same joint as the elbow, but it can't swivel due to the fact that it's cut that way. But he does have swivel over top of the boot. The ankles have the same universal joint, which makes things bend and get out of the way and kick up and kick down. And he has a separate toe. But now that I actually own this guy, I've been wanting to own this forever. I thought that the World of Nintendo figures would be good replacements for these high-end collectibles. And now that I have this in my hand, they did do a good job with this guy, this World of Nintendo Link. even though he's much shorter, and the face is less of a good likeness to that. But the arm joints are pretty much the same as this. Now the shoulders, hips, and knees are way lacking. He does have swivel up here, and he does have a little bit of a ball under here, but nothing compared to that. So this is the best. I never reviewed him, but I'm going to do a little mini review. This is the best World of Nintendo figure they produced so far, and pretty much the only one you need to buy. But anyway, let's get that comparisons out of the way. So let's get him armed up. I'm going to have Link holding the shield with his right hand, so all you got to do is just pull that out. I usually, just to be safe about it, put the hand in here so it doesn't get lost. I'm going to take his shield holding hand, plug it in, just that simple. Now the shield. What you want to do with the shield is unpeg this here. Maybe you could, I'm just going to put it down for now. Take this off right here. This is the handle that he actually holds. This little piece comes off, and what you want to do is feed this handle through his hand. Don't try to just grab his hand around there, because you might break something. Put the handle back together. Put it on this side of the shield, since it was on the other at first. They put it on the other side default because in Skyward Sword he was actually right-handed as far as holding his sword. But if you want to switch it around, you got to put it on this side. Now this has a bigger peg hole and a smaller one at the top. Bigger, smaller. Go ahead, put this strap back over top of this, which is easier to do off camera than it is to do on. But now he's nicely holding his shield and nothing's falling off. As far as the sword, same thing. Take the hand off, get his sword holding hand, plug that in. It's kind of pointed skyward. Now what you have to do with the sword is take this bottom piece off. And this kind of worries me that the paint will start rubbing off. On that World of Nintendo figure, it has started wearing off, but I can't compare that to this figure, which is way better quality-wise. Then you plug this back on there. The moral of the story is, don't open the fingers and try to force the weapons in there. Take the little parts off and then feed it through the hand. But now he has his shield and his sword, which he can hold up to get that light energy from the sky before he does what? Before he swings the sword forward, unleashing the energy, which you can do by sliding the sword through this little plastic piece. Put it right there, and now he's unleashing the energy that he stored up, which is a cool, nice effect. I mean, they tried to make it look like fire blazing off of the sword, but it kind of just looks like it's just there sitting on it. And definitely you could see it just is held on by that. But anywho, the sheath, since he's left-handed right now, I'm going to aim the sheath in this direction. Just plug it in right there. And now it's appropriately hanging off the shoulder. This posability does lend itself for things like acting like he's pulling the sword out of there. But what you can do is take that out of his hand, plug this back on, sheath this back in there, replace his hand with the more relaxed hand, and go ahead and do like this. So it can look like he's actually reaching for the sword. And you can actually pull it out. So there's a whole bunch of display options with this dude. So let me get his optional faces. Well, face. How do you swap out the face? You grab the hair, start pulling it forward, Normally you have to pull them out in sections, but like pull the hair off first, then the face comes off of here, and this is what he looks like. You can see that ball joint up in there. Put his face, other face, onto that transparent piece. Grab his other hair, plug it in by these two little plugs. Slide that in as far as you can get it. So now he's in his attack face. Yeah. Let's switch out the hand again. Add his display stand, and the posing possibilities are endless, really. Like, I did this pose, but before I was going with that, I had him pointing the sword like this. You can have both his feet kicked out like this if you want something like that. And just to show you, this leg bends all the way back, so that really lends itself for running poses. And just to show you what I'm comfortable with as far as this crunch, you could crunch his body forward like that, and his little waist crunch down there, and that's what you would be working with. So that's very cool. Right now I have the stand directly plugged into his back, but you do have this option right here if you want to start doing things like make him be up and tilting him left and right and whatnot. What I don't like about it is that thing kind of fights you. It's like you have to pose it and then plug it in him later. It's like if they would have used a joint like in his elbows back here, so you could easily rotate it, that would have been better for me. But that might be just a little nitpick. But just to show you something, this stand is compatible with other figures that have stand ports. So it's like the basic Tamashii Bandai stand size. So if you have other figures you would rather display with this stand instead of Link, you can do that. And I guess the final thing for me to show you guys, and I hope I didn't miss anything, putting the sword on top of his, well, putting the shield on top of the sword sheath, just like he does in the video game. You have to remove this. I already removed the handle. Come around like this. Take these two pieces for the handle, put them back together, and go ahead and plug them into these two ports right here. And now, while it's on Link's back, if you push it in all the way, it'll just dangle and won't fall off. So let's see, he's still left-handed. Move his head out the way, plug this back in. Now you can't put it on, or can't put it in there as deep because the handle bumps into his back, but it will sit and rest on his back, which is very, very cool. One final thing to show off what these jazz hands are for. I've been wondering all since yesterday what they're for, but it just came to me that these are his pushing something heavy hands. He does that in every game, just about. They don't have any suggestions for these hands on the packaging, so I don't know how it just came to me. Anyway, for his, no, stop, don't shoot, oh, don't hit me. Anyway, I really, really enjoy this figure. One thing I didn't show off is how this works right here. It's two separate pieces. If you want that to go back right, you have to shove it under there. But this is an awesome, awesome figure. If you own it, be careful with it. It's more of a collectible than an actual toy. It is posable, and you can play with it, but yeah, be very, very careful with it. But I can't recommend it even anymore. I mean, after buying this, I don't even want to buy any regular toys anymore because I'm sick of being disappointed. Like, this was almost good, but it's nothing compared to him. And I'm getting sick of almost. And that's what I get with the normal stuff that I've collected and the normal stuff that I've shown off here in my channel thus far. Besides maybe Transformers Masterpiece figures or some figures like DC collectibles and whatnot. But anyway, I love it. It usually runs for about $50. I got it for way less than that. So I would definitely search for a bargain. I love bargains. Get it way cheaper than $50. Anyway, if you like this review, give me a like, subscribe so you can see my future reviews. T-Man978 out of here.